Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Break It Down with Braydon. Super excited. I got Lisa Westcott on with me today. Lisa, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me, Braydon.
Lisa's with Retsy Real Estate and has been dominating in the real estate world for a while now and just absolutely crushes it in the North Scottsdale area. And Lisa and I have had the privilege of being on the board for the Boys and Girls Club for the last couple of years together. And just been awesome to get to know Lisa. And we've been on the golf committee together for the Boys and Girls Club. And just been fun to kind of watch you kind of grow your real estate career over the years, and just been fun to kind of get to know you all.
To get to know you, yeah. Absolutely.
Tell everybody a little bit about kind of how you got into the real estate world and what brought you to Retsy.
Oh boy, let's see. So moved to Arizona when I was 22 and worked for the original developer of the Four Seasons. And long story short, left that and got back into real estate in 2002.
Yeah.
Worked for a luxury home builder, and here I am.
Yeah.
So love what I do. Retsy, back in July of 2023, the W Group joined Retsy simply because, you start thinking about retirement after so many years, and that really doesn't, retirement and real estate, realtors doesn't really, no, it doesn't really happen. So I thought, you know what, let's keep our eyes and ears open for a brokerage that is cutting edge, but yet seasoned and professional, and here we are.
Cool. Talk a little bit about Retsy, though, and kind of elaborate. So I know they do some really cool, unique marketing stuff, and just kind of a different kind of skill set behind them.
So Retsy, actually, the original founder started it with the idea of it being, Retsy stands for Real Estate Technology Systems, and it was supposed to be more of a technology system, and organically grew into a brokerage. And we're affiliated with Forbes. And so we do a lot of, we're affiliated with Forbes. We're the only brokerage in the market that's affiliated with Forbes. Forbes doesn't do a lot of brokerage affiliations. Okay. They're very select. And Retsy just, the founder, and I'm not going to say this in a negative, this is 100% a positive. Yeah. He is a technology geek. Like he geeks out on it. Yeah. Like, and so anything that's cool and new, he wants to get his hands on it, and he
probably takes that as a compliment, actually.
Yeah. I am not a technology geek. Would love to be, but I'm not. But I embrace it as much as I can, and it's a cool, very cool model, very cool company, very cool. Think outside the box, do what we can to promote our not just our agents, but our clients too, buyers and sellers.
Yeah, it seems like you guys got a really cool culture, cool brand, just kind of cool look to it and everything.
Yeah.
It's just, I like it a lot. It's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about how you got into real estate and then how you got to where you're at today, where you're dominating in neighborhoods like Silverleaf and Wingate and luxury subdivisions like that.
I was grew up in a very, very, very small town. And this is not a political statement by any means. But I was raised in a small town. My parents were divorced, but still friends to the day that my dad passed. Mm-hmm. And we were always taught to, you earn what you work hard and you earn what you have. Yeah. And in 2008, I saw my, phenomenal builder, by the way, and I thank him every day for giving me the opportunity that he did, because in 2002 I wasn't a residential agent. I worked for him, and he kind of threw me into it, which I am so grateful for, and I took the opportunity and learned so much from him. And in 2008 I was on salary, and I could see him, the market doing what it was doing and him stressing out, and I just didn't, I felt it was my obligation to say to him, stop the bleeding, stop the salary bleeding, put me on commission. I know I'll sell, and I've saved enough to where I'm okay. Yep. And he said, I'll never pay you commission. And I sat there and I went home and thought about it, and I came back in the next day and I said, okay, I think I'm going to go on my own. Yeah. And he looked at me and he goes, do you know what the market's doing? And I said, yeah. And he goes, you'll never make it. You don't tell a small town girl like that. Yeah. So where I am today, I started with him, and I appreciate everything that he gave me the opportunity to do and learn. Yep. But I also appreciate my parents doing what they did and teaching me work hard, be humble, and be grateful for what you have, and take every opportunity that's there. Even if it's some people might look at, getting fired as a bad thing. I look at it as an opportunity. It means that you're clearing your plate for something new, better, bigger.
Yep.
It's an opportunity.
One door closes, one opens.
Yeah. So, my business is based on nurturing my database and my relationships. It's my business is based 99.9% on repeat and referral.
Yep. Yeah, I think thank you for speaking at the great event, first of all.
Yes.
And I had a tremendous amount of compliments about you guys up there, and specifically you as well, just some of the things you said and the takeaways that they took from that, and just how they could then kind of go into those experiences and differentiate how they're going to be presenting themselves and whatnot. And so I actually had somebody reach out the other day that was like, hey, who was that girl on the panel? I said, I'd actually like to reach out to her. I've got an opportunity in Silverleaf.
Oh.
How often does that happen? Because of what you've kind of established in those communities, are you getting a lot of agents that are like, hey, it's my first listing in this subdivision like this. Would you co-list with me, or can you mentor me? Or like,
yeah.
I'd imagine that probably happens a lot.
I would tell you that in this business, in real estate, a lot of agents get into it because they think that it's a quick 3%, which it absolutely is not. And I will not tell anybody what they want to hear. I'll tell them the truth.
Yep.
But I'm also the type of person who I feel like it's my obligation to do what I can to help the industry, because I love it and I'm passionate about it. And when somebody, appraisers or a new agent, whoever it is that calls me, I always answer my phone. And if I don't, then I'll call them back. Even if it's a few days later, I always call them back.
Yep.
But I'll have agents that'll call and say, hey, I don't know the first thing about it. And I'll help them with it. And I'll offer, like, do you want some assistance with it?
Yep.
But a lot of times people think that they can take it on themselves.
Yep.
And that's and maybe they can.
Yeah.
I wish them well. And even if they list it and it sits on the market, I learned something really, really important from an agent who used to be on our team when we were at a different brokerage. And he said to me, and I use this all the time now and I love it, and it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Chris. But he said to me, to us one day, he said he had a client who he worked with, and then come to find out they went and listed it with somebody else, sat on the market for 3-4 months, came back to him and said, okay, sorry, it didn't work. Can you list it? And he said, absolutely not. I'm not going to inherit your days on market.
Yep.
And I love that.
Yep.
And it's so true. Like, if you want to go with somebody because they're going to,
give you a deal
a deal,
right.
And no, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
And I know how hard I work. So I also know, and I said this on the panel, that, with all of the different changes that we're experiencing right now since August, is, I thought that it would have weeded some people out who thought it was a quick, easy, get your license and do it part-time kind of thing.
Yep.
I won't budge on my fees. I just won't. I know how hard I work. I know how committed I am. If I can't show my value, then how can I expect somebody else to see it, right?
Well, and the best analogy I always hear is, like, if I'm willing to negotiate my compensation for me, then what do you think I'm going to do for your listing?
Exactly,
right?
For your price.
Yeah, the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you got to see the value.
Absolutely.
Talk a little about kind of the luxury market a little bit more. I know I keep going back to that, but like, what kind of differentiates between kind of yourself and somebody else that might not be able to kind of play in that space? Because truthfully, whenever I look up in Silverleaf or whatever, it's Lisa, and you've got all the listings in there, which is amazing. And so obviously you've kind of created a stakehold in there. Is it just the constant knowledge, the always be on top of that market, always being aware and just kind of really studying it, or what's kind of really...
So when I worked for the builder, we built and sold 2 of the first spec homes in there, and staying on top of it and continuing to educate yourself on what's happening, not just in Silverleaf, but the luxury market in general, and what those buyers and sellers are experiencing outside of real estate.
Yep.
stock market, has a lifestyle, whatever that is. Like, we're seeing a lot of people, even though Silverleaf was established, I think, in 2002, some of those people are, they built these big, huge mansions. They love the community, but they don't want to take care of it anymore. They want to travel. So they're selling those and then moving into something smaller. And so that's where a lot of the repeat business comes from.
Yep.
Staying connected to them, knowing their
Kids
and their families and what's happening.
Social lives and whatnot.
We have a listing right now where I sold the property to these folks in 2008, and they have 4 kids. They've all graduated high school. 2 of them are married. One's probably getting married soon.
Yep.
Now they're embracing the idea that, so many people think, okay, we're going to build this big, huge mansion and all the kids will come home and spend time. That doesn't happen. And sometimes it might, but for the most part, it doesn't. So they embraced that idea, and what they've decided to do is they're going to sell the big mansion, get something smaller here, and then travel to each of the kids to see them instead of expecting that we're going to hold on to this big, huge, beautiful property with hopes that they'll bring the kids and their kids, grandkids. So, but I think that the luxury market in general, we have the election coming up, and it's kind of like a up and down. Gets really busy, then it slows down, then it gets busy and it slows down. Yep. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who's going to win, what side of the fence, is leadership. Yep. At the end of the day, people want to be in Arizona. They want to be where there aren't any natural disasters, hurricanes, whatever it is. And we live in a pretty phenomenal place. Yep. And it's beautiful. The sun's, like, I was talking to somebody today, and I said, hey, did you see the rain? Did you get any rain the other day? And I've actually had people say, why do you people in Arizona love the rain so much? Yep. Because we're
10 times a year.
Yeah, and we're forced to sit and not do anything.
Yep.
That's the great thing. We don't feel guilty about having to go outside. Yep. Well, it's sunshine, we better go outside. Yep. I mean, I'm from Washington State, Pacific Northwest, and that's all you did was stay inside and gain weight. Yep. Here, you go outside, and so we appreciate the rain. But anyway.
I know. I love the rain. Because like you said, just sit outside, just kind of enjoy listening to it. It's relaxing for me. It's kind of tranquil.
That's why we all have water features, right?
Yep. Yeah, running water is definitely one of my favorites. My wife hates it. I sit in the shower for like an hour every morning. She's like, what are you doing?
Meditate.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Get in my thoughts. It's my only spot, like by yourself.
It's space.
Like, yes, exactly. Like, leave me alone. And
that's all you can hear.
Yep. New agents getting into the business, what's kind of some guidance, some suggestions for them?
I would say to a new agent getting into it, and I've said this as recent as a couple days ago, if you're getting into the business, no matter what the market's doing, whether it's really thriving or if there's concern and challenges because of all the new forms and all that, just stay educated. That's so important, because this is not a silly little monopoly game where you have all this money flying around. This is an investment, and probably their biggest investment, not just financially, but emotionally too. It could be a first-time home buyer. It could be a divorce. It could be a death. It could be all of those things. Those are huge. And so you have to stay educated, and it's constantly changing. I would be lying if I said that I knew everything about every new form. Yeah. I take every opportunity that I have to try to educate myself and try to read. And there's a lot of articles out there. It's like with anything. You have to see what the actual law of your state is, but also take what certain people are saying and what other people are saying and make your own opinion about it. I mean, I'm involved in a lot of different networking groups, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see what everybody else's take is on it. But I would say if you're a new agent, it's an amazing industry to get into and so much fun, but it's difficult. Oh, yeah. And the number one most important thing that I could say to somebody besides staying educated is whatever you do, if your intention is right, don't take anything personally. Yep. Because that'll take you down.
Very true. Very true. Mm-hmm. We talked about a little bit about retirement and stuff. What's kind of the goals for the W group? What's kind of the...
I've thought about this so much, and I can't see myself ever retiring.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. And then I sit there and I think, okay, who would be on my short list of people who I would say, I'll still work with you. I'm going to retire, but I can't. Because every time I turn around, I'm like, I love these people.
Yep.
I love these. I love them. I want to work with them. I want to work with their kids.
I think that's kind of the cool part about real estate too, is people are always like, yeah, I'll never retire, because it's just one of those things you have a passion for it still, right? And you're good at it. And so it's like, well, why would I give up this skill set and not allow my clients to still have that value?
Yeah.
Right.
And take care of them.
Yeah.
And make sure that they're, somebody on my team, Garrett on my team, he was talking about, he has a client who is a repeat that 3 or 4 times in.
Yeah.
And he went to purchase a home in Montana, and the agent said, you need to, when you do this, because I know you get the hot and cold.
Yeah.
You need to, I know you. And that's where our value comes in. We know our clients. Yep. And we know, I could have easily told you, don't do this. Go take a couple deep breaths, go meditate, go hike, go do something.
Give us more thought. Yep.
Yeah. Don't do this. This is a huge purchase. And he ended up losing a pretty significant earnest deposit because he backed out of it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, taking care of your clients is huge.
Yeah. So obviously we've had an opportunity to kind of be on the Boys and Girls Club board together. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about what your why for that. What's your reason for giving back?
So in the golf tournament, especially, my dad was a golf professional for 42 years. I grew up playing golf. It's such a huge value for kids. It teaches you so much. It teaches you honesty. It teaches you patience. It teaches you etiquette. It teaches you all kinds of things. And
you're saying golf in general?
Golf in general. And I love giving back any way I can, especially to kids, because they're innocent. They don't know. Yep. They need guidance. They need us to stick up for them. They need us to be there, to smile, to, that might be their only smile that they get. That might be their only conversation that they have. Yep. And Boys and Girls Club it's a safe place for those kids. And being a part of that and being able to give back and help that and support that sounds cheesy, but it's like a dream come true, because your Boys and Girls Club is an amazing organization that gives back, and to be part of that and be able to give back too. Absolutely. Yeah,
I went to the trunk or treat event on, Wednesday, I guess it was Monday, and just all the kids running around, just having a blast. They set up a little haunted house within in the club. These kids were screaming, just having a blast, trying to scare us. It was just so fun, and it kind of was like eye-opening. Like, okay, this is what it's all about. And
that's what it's supposed to be.
Yep.
That's how. I'm much older than you, but when I grew up, we walked the streets. We had our little cheesy little masks on and things like that, and then we sat there and ate candy.
Yep.
And then had to go to school the next day. I think that's awesome that they do the trunk or treats for the kids.
Back to a little bit of trends. What are you kind of seeing in the real estate world right now? Are you seeing kind of days on market creeping up? Are you seeing inventory creeping up? What are you kind of seeing?
A little bit of everything. I think that inventory has definitely finally started to come back. However, sellers still think that we're in the 2020 prices, and so those houses that they think that are still 2020. A 2020 market, I should say, they're still sitting. Yeah. If it's reasonable and they're fair to the market, it will sell. Yeah. And it used to be, 2020 and a couple years before that, it used to be that everybody wanted this light, white, bright, it doesn't matter, just give it to me kind of thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore. Buyers are sophisticated, they're taking their time, they want quality.
Yeah.
And so even the Tuscan homes, because you can't replace that, the quality is there. It's not the light, white, bright, but you can modernize it if you want to. You can keep with the original integrity of the home, but just make it a little bit more modern.
Yep.
That's what I'm seeing. I mean,
People are starting to look at those again a little bit and be I don't actually just have to have this cookie cutter, shaker cabinets. And,
no, they want character. They want quality. They want, something that you can't blow down.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're getting back to like where it was in the past, where it was like you're importing your wood from France and doing crazy stuff like that. But it's definitely like they're bringing in higher quality finishes again, and it's not just like your cookie cutter shaker cabinets.
Exactly.
And your, cheap run of the mill stuff that everyone was doing.
And people see that. People, buyers, if they're going to spend that kind of money.
Yeah, they know value now.
They know value.
Yeah, they know the difference between.
And they're willing to wait for it.
Cabinets, quality, and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on with like country clubs in terms of like memberships and everything? It's just wait lists for everything still, right?
Still.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain clubs that you can get right into if you buy a house.
Yeah.
Desert Highlands, you have to, if you buy, you get to join.
Yep.
Places like Silverleaf, that's owned by one group, that's a 6 to 8 year wait. Unless you buy a house where the seller is willing to forfeit their membership, then you can buy the house and do it that way. And that's why some of those homes have a higher value.
Yep.
DC Ranch, I'm told, is 6 to 8 months. But we have, let's not forget, we have so many beautiful public golf courses. And I always tell people, if you're not familiar with the area and you haven't played this area or this country club or that country club, buy where you want to be.
Yep.
Go play these. You're going to meet people and you're going to get invited to play those golf courses, and then decide.
Yep.
Then decide if that's what you want to do.
My issue is there's so many good golf courses that it's hard for me to commit to just one.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, all my friends are wanting to go play here. And it's like, well, why don't you come to my course? Because I'm paying for it already. And then I feel guilty going and playing somewhere else because I'm already paying for this. And so
Exactly.
I guess I just need to get to the point where it doesn't matter. And I
Yeah.
could just be a member and also play everywhere else and just not care. But
Right.
someday.
Someday. And right now, it's so beautiful when you look around because October, everyone does their overseeding. Even residents who have natural grass, golf courses and people who have natural grass did their overseeding in October.
Everything's just lush green right now. Yeah.
But everyone's sneezing too.
Yep. Yeah, I played at Kierland on Monday, and it was golf cart only, golf path only, which is beautiful. But yeah, it's definitely kind of makes it a longer game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
not quite as
lots
enjoyable.
of exercise.
Yes. Yeah. Well, cool, Lisa. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Really
Braydon.
appreciate you sharing everything, and thanks for sticking in for another episode of Break It Down with Braydon, and more to come. Thanks, guys.